Hey everyone, and welcome to The Year Was, the podcast all about today that gives you just enough information to effectively be that guy at the party, causing all your friends to question, hey, who invited you? Like, seriously, why are you here? I'm your host, Michael Montalvo, and for the next few minutes we will swim through the river of time to try and find out what makes it a truly unique. In this episode, we examine the events that occurred August 31st. You guys remember Beanie Babies? I mean, I guess they're still a thing. People used to collect them and trade them like cards, hoping to complete their collections and sell them so that they could make their millions and quit work to live a life of luxury. Actually, looking at eBay and Etsy now, some of these Beanie Babies are going for over 10,000 American dollars, so maybe there is still something to them. I guess they were really the Pops figures of their day. Anyway, one of the most coveted of all the Beanie Babies was the one designed and sold to commemorate Princess Diana, the people's princess. So let's talk about her. As always, a brief history of Princess Diana. The Princess of Wales was born Diana Frances Spencer, July 1st, 1961, in Sandringham, Norfolk, England. She actually was friends of the royal family and played with the Queen's younger sons as a child. Her parents eventually divorced, and she, her brother, and her two sisters went to live with her father, Edward John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, heir to the 7th Earl Spencer. In 1975, he succeeded to the earldom, and Diana became Lady Diana Spencer. She finished her schooling in Switzerland and returned home to England to become a kindergarten assistant at the Young England School in Pimlico. It was around this time that she began to rekindle her friendship with the royal family and with Prince Charles in particular. On February 24th, 1981, they announced their engagement, and they were married July 29th of that same year. They would welcome children, Princes William and Harry, in 1982 and 1984 respectively, and the family lived a very public life. Publicly, they were happy, elegant, glamorous, charitable, but behind closed doors, their marriage was facing its fair share of problems. In addition to this, Diana struggled with depression, low self-esteem, eating disorders, and was constantly being pursued by paparazzi. Both Princess Diana and Prince Charles had affairs, and they separated in 1992 but would not be officially divorced until 1996. As part of the terms of the divorce, she was granted a substantial financial settlement, but was stripped of the title Her Royal Highness. After finalizing the divorce, she maintained her public profile, working with charities, the arts, children issues, and AIDS patients. It was all of this, as well as a very public private life, that she became one of the most photographed women in the world. By this point in time, Diana had found a new love, Dodi Fayed, and together the pair traveled to Paris August 30th, the year after the divorce. This was after a week of yachting in the Mediterranean, and then the year was 1997, and on this day, August 31st, Princess Diana, her boyfriend Dodi Fayed, and driver Henri Paul died in a car crash. The couple set out in a Mercedes-Benz that was being driven by Paul, who was the deputy head of security at the Ritz, Paris. The trio were accompanied by bodyguard Trevor Rhys-Jones. They were being chased by paparazzi as they left the Ritz in the early hours of that Sunday morning. When I say chased, it was more than just a few here and there. Remember when I said that she was one of the most photographed women of her time? They swarmed her. Paul, who was driving, was speeding through the streets in an attempt to get away. He was also allegedly driving with a blood alcohol level 3 times over the legal limit, and had also taken prescription drugs that didn't mix well with alcohol. According to reports, Paul, in an attempt to avoid hitting a white Fiat Uno, swerved and collided into the 13th pillar in the Pont de Liama tunnel. I probably messed up that pronunciation. Paul and Fayed were killed instantly, while Rhys-Jones and Diana survived. Initially. While Rhys-Jones would recover, Diana, who lost consciousness at the crash site, was rushed to the hospital and would die hours later from internal bleeding. Her last words before losing consciousness were, "My God, what's happened?" The paparazzi were there the entire time, photographing the crash. So what happened? Well, you know of the condition Paul was in as he drove. Diana and Fayed were not wearing seatbelts and the car was being chased. While Princess Harry and William believed paparazzi were responsible for the crash, a French judge ruled that they were not responsible, instead putting blame on Paul, who was under the influence while driving. A 2006 Scotland Yard investigation also reached this conclusion. While no evidence of conspiracy has been found, there have been some theories. In 1995, Diana herself told her lawyer that following the divorce, attempts would be made to get rid of her, with a car crash as a possible method. The royal family took some time to issue a response to the incident, and the silence was interpreted as indifference by some. This was all later fictionalized in the 2006 film The Queen, in which Helen Mirren won an Academy Award for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth. A funeral was held for Princess Diana September 6, 1997, with a burial at Althorpe, the Spencer family home, happening later that same day. That's going to do it for us today. If you like this podcast and want to hear more, give us a rate and a review. That helps me out and helps steer this in a direction that is hopefully good for all. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find the Year Was audio version on your podcast app of choice. You can find me on social media and at YouTube at the Apple Cider Club. And as always, I want to thank the Tim Kreitz Band for our musical theme. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.